Okay, I want to come at you with another news update, basically. This was published on Friday, July 10th, 2015, out of the Nigerian News Update. Now, this article was linked to me between the discussion that I had with two other individuals earlier today, and I have yet to hear this article until today, so I figured I'd bring it to your attention. Obviously, it is a couple months old, but it's still relevant. It is obviously this year. It's only 2 months old. And this article is it just seems so unbelievable that there's been a lot of questions on whether this was satire or not. And especially when you read the comments below, this individual who says this has got to be a joke. I'm betting it came from a satire site like The Onion. Don't anyone pass this on as true without really checking it out. No way it can be true. Then this reply states, "You're absolutely right, Marianne. What a scam. Just look at that article about Pope Francis was told by God to change the 10 Commandments and delete the 7th commandment. God, no more sins of adultery, homosexual, etc. What an evil website. What a load of crock. Cheers. God bless." And then this individual on September 3rd stated, "This is no joke. There is going to be a great falling away of the faith and the world chasing after the beast. All the reformers identified the papacy as the beast in Revelation." And then he linked to another website, which was this one right here. Okay, and this was July 16th, 2015. So this has real news right now. So here's another hyperlink, and we'll open link here. Just to kind of validate this article. Real news right now. Out of Vatican City. Again. So it seems like this has been going around, and from what I see, this is definitely not a hoax. So let's go ahead and read the official article that came out, and then I'm going to play this video clip from a radio program called Catholic Answers, and you're going to hear, and it's titled, "A Protestant Comes Home to the Catholic Church." Let's go ahead and first read this article in its totality here. It states, "Protestant leaders declare reunification of churches under the Holy See." Following more than 500 years of separation, American and European Protestant leaders met with Pope Francis last week to finalize a reunification of the two churches under the Holy See. The historic agreement is the result of a year's worth of unpublicized talks between Protestant leaders and the Vatican. Prominent American pastors Joel Osteen and Rick Warren, respectively, as well as Justin Welby, the Archbishop of Canterbury, were among the Protestant delegation that met with Pope Francis last week. Pastor Warren, founder of Saddleback Church in Lake Forest, California, spoke with members of the international press in St. Peter's Square, saying, quote, "Protestants as a people have a long history of heresy." That's what Rick Warren said. "The time for reconciliation is now in order to ensure a full and dogmatic transition into the folds of the church," end quote. Moments before meeting with reporters, the entire Protestant delegation for the first time ever entered the confessional to take part individually in the sacrament of penance. It's important that we participate in these sacred rituals before asking our congregation to do the same, Pastor Osteen said, adding that his time in confession was an, quote, "an immensely moving experience." As Protestants around the world make the transition to Catholicism, many are wondering what exactly that means for them. First and foremost, quote, "we acknowledge the Pope's infallibility." This is, this is what this means for the Protestants, is that this is what Father Cliff Brogan says, quote, "First and foremost, we acknowledge and this is what they have to acknowledge, the Pope's infallibility with regard to universal moral declarations. So, the Pope's morality. What is God's morality based on? Well, the Ten Commandments. So, obviously, they need to acknowledge the Pope's infallibility with regard to universal moral, his commandments, declarations, the authority of church magistrate, faith, and ex cathedra, said Father Cliff Morgan, a former Protestant pastor who was the first of the delegation to be ordained as a priest at the Vatican. Secondly, we participate in the sacrament of the Eucharist by accepting the actual body and blood of Christ, an event known as transubstantiation at the conclusion of the Holy Mass. As part of their induction into the Catholic faith, all Protestants above the age of 15 are required to undergo a Catholic confirmation, one of 3 sacraments of initiation out of 7 total, which Catholics can receive. Most, if not all of us, have been baptized, said Father Brogan. However, without formal confirmation, our Protestant baptisms will be null, thus preventing us from entering the kingdom of heaven. Additionally, during the transition period, American Protestant families whose children attend Sunday school are to receive vouchers allowing them to participate in CCD programs at area Catholic churches. And a show of support for the reunification under the Holy See, the United Kingdom announced Wednesday that it is taking steps to reunify Northern Ireland with the Republic of Ireland. The government of the UK has acknowledged the stark differences between the two countries, but according to one official, quote, "We are, for the first time, one people, united under the Bishop of Rome, acting together as the bride and servant of Christ," end quote. And then I'm going to conclude this video by playing this video here. It basically goes over the same thing here, but this is not a satire. This is definitely not satire. But this is Trent Horn. A 3-minute video on Catholic Answers, and the title is "A Protestant Comes Home to the Catholic Church." So let's go ahead and listen to it, and this will close the video. So truth be told, truth be known, stay safe, God bless, and really pay attention to what this former Protestant has to say.
TC in Lubbock, Texas on 102.9. You're up next. First off the gate. Hello, TC.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I got you.
Welcome.
Thank you for taking my call. I'm a Protestant right now only because I have not been able to go to the classes and convert. I've been a Protestant basically since birth, but my wonderful wife, Elva, introduced me to the Catholic Church, and it was like a present. It is the only church I've ever been in where I felt peace.
TC, what would you think was the biggest thing that won you over from Protestantism to coming over to Catholicism? What do you think is the biggest thing?
I don't see any cliques. I see just a group of people sitting in church and worship. I get to go and sit and be among peers, not a bunch of Cadillacs. It gives me peace. Since going to the Catholic Church, my prayer life has quadrupled. My sincerity has changed so much. My outlook on life is
I am very happy
peaceful.
Those are great fruits.
Perfect. Have you looked into a Catholic church nearby you to take part in RCIA classes? That's called the Rite of Christian Initiation of Adults. So Catholic church near you. Okay.
Yes, we attend St. Thomas here in Lubbock, and we go to Mass each week, and it's a time for rejuvenation for me. It doesn't matter what's going on. it's the only church I've ever walked in where anything from the outside stayed on the outside, and before I walk back out that door, I am absolutely reset.
Right. TC, I'm imagining.
I get to do it every morning.
TC, it's Patrick here. I'm kind of arguing against ourselves a little bit. I'm imagining Lutheran listeners right now going, "We're peaceful. We're sort of salt of the earth Christians." Is there no doctrinal objection that you once held that you don't hold anymore, TC? We're trying to get to a specific objection you may have had before you were introduced to the Catholic faith by your wife. Do you see what we're getting at?
Yeah. My objection was Mary's role in everything. How big of a part she actually played, and then the actual forgiveness of sin. My works. It's not really something that was a part of life before. It was, you're baptized, you're forgiven, move on.
Gotcha. So confession by a priest. Well,
yeah,
we're glad that you've worked through these issues. It sounds like your good wife's been a gift of the grace of God as well. TC, thanks for calling us.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
You as well.
And a link to another website, which was this one right here. Okay, and this was July 16th, 2015. So this has real news right now. So here's another hyperlink, and we'll open link here. Two other individuals earlier today, and I have yet to hear this article until today, so I figured I'd bring it to your attention. Obviously, it is a couple months old, but it's still relevant. It is obviously this year. It's only 2 months old. And this article is it just seems so unbelievable that there's been a lot of questions on whether this was satire or not. And especially when you read it. God, no more sins of adultery, homosexual, etc. What an evil website. What a load of crock. Cheers. God bless. And then this individual on September 3rd stated, "This is no joke. There is going to be a great falling away of the faith and the world chasing after the beast. All the reformers identified the papacy as the beast in Revelation." And okay, I want to come at you with another news update, basically. This was published on Friday, July 10th, 2015, out of the Nigerian News Update. Now, this article was linked to me between the discussion that I had with the comments below. This individual who says, "This has got to be a joke. I'm betting it came from a satire site like The Onion. Don't anyone pass this on as true without really checking it out. No way it can be true." Then this reply states, "You're absolutely right, Marianne. What a scam. Just look at that article about Pope Francis was told by God to change the 10 Commandments and delete the 7th commandment.